Hey, what's up everybody? This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. Welcome to today's video, how to use good laptop posture. Thanks for joining me. I do value your time. I promise I will make it as worthwhile as possible. Computer posture can be a very boring and painful topic. I try to create content that is free of cost, open-minded, relatable to our everyday lives, and easily actionable. Quick note, the info in this presentation is not medical advice. It's based off my experience and my opinions. I talk about good habits that have helped me live a higher quality, sedentary lifestyle. Do your research, make good decisions, and be the best possible advocate you can be for your own healthcare. The specific goals of my channel are to help the user decrease pain caused by sitting at a computer. That's always going to be my number one goal. Increase energy, improve mental clarity, and increase work productivity. All those go hand in hand when computer posture is improved. Quick note about me, my name is Todd Bowen. I've got an information technology degree, so I've taken classes like workstation ergonomics as well as user experience. Lifelong athlete and exerciser, as well as a sedentary lifestyle for the last 20 plus years. Here's a quick look at my website, sittingposture.com. If you want to go here and enter your email address, you can sign up for my email newsletter. I only send out one email a week. I don't spam, only on Fridays. And what I do is I include the link to the article that I wrote for my website that week, as well as the 2 links for the YouTube videos that I posted to my YouTube channel for that week. I post YouTube videos on Wednesday and Sunday. All right, let's get into today's content, how to use good laptop posture. Since I switched personally from a laptop to a laptop from a desktop computer, my productivity has increased. However, it also greatly increased the risk of bad posture for me when I was using a laptop. Today, I'll just talk about the 2 main posture issues and injuries that I fixed while using a laptop. The ability to take our laptop with us and work anywhere in the world is definitely convenient. This video doesn't necessarily talk about using a laptop during travel. I completely understand the value of being able to work away from home or the office. The human body is very resilient. We can withstand poor posture positions for small amounts of time. Where we get into trouble with posture is when we try to fight through these poor positions for long periods of time on an everyday basis. So with that said, this video will talk about how to use good posture on a laptop while working in an office or at home. In other words, any permanent location where we have the ability to make a couple small changes to our ergonomic setup. Some of the worst injuries I've got from working on a laptop, number 1 was neck pain. Number 2 was carpal tunnel syndrome in the wrist. So let's talk about injury number 1 quickly before we get into some solutions for these 2 injuries. Neck pain. Looking down at a laptop screen causes terrible posture issues with our necks. We may not notice it in the beginning, but that repetitive strain, we may not even notice that repetitive strain damage for years, but it's definitely doing a number on us. The muscles in the front of my neck compressed and shortened when I just started using a laptop. The muscles on the back of my neck overextended and lengthened. So a lot of repetitive strain and overuse injuries going on there, but terrible muscle confusion from the front to the back of the neck at the same time. And this imbalance caused me a number of problems, including neck pain, headaches, longer muscle recovery times, dysfunction during sports and workouts. I wasn't able to perform like I had been used to performing, and spinal disc degeneration. So you can look, here's a great picture right here of a user who is looking down at her monitor at a 45-degree angle just to see the top of her screen. And what that does is it tightens up and shortens all the muscles in the front of her neck, but it overuses and overextends the muscles on the back of her neck. So that's a terrible imbalance there. The muscle confusion between the front and the back of the neck is not functional. And what that does is it sets off a chain reaction of the rest of her spine being in a poor position, poor vulnerable position. You can tell her body's kind of from her waist to her head is shaped almost like a banana. And here's another example here of another user. She's straighter up and down, but she can obviously suffering from some back pain here. And she's looking pretty much straight down to see something on her screen here. And at best, she's looking at that 45-degree angle to see the top of her screen. So solution number one is to use an external monitor when using a laptop when we're at home or in our office. This allowed me to look straight forward when viewing the top of my screen, and it also was a chain reaction that corrected some issues I had with my lower spine as well. Ideally, the top of our screen should be at eye level. Looking down slightly to see the bottom of our screen is okay, but here's a good picture. I want to ideally the top of our screen would be eye level right here. This screen is actually a little bit higher than eye level, which I don't really like personally, but if it works for that person, that's fine. As long as he's not looking down at a 45-degree angle to see the top of his laptop, that's where we get into trouble. The eye level of the top of the screen is is even, parallel to the floor, and looking down to see the bottom of the screen slightly is okay. So here's a quick look at the natural curvature of the spine from a side angle view, looking at the user's right side. So let's look at these pictures and compare the two. I mentioned earlier this user's upper body to her head is kind of shaped in a C shape like a banana. It's impossible to maintain the natural curves throughout the spine when her upper body is slouched forward like this. So that's where I got into a lot of trouble from looking down at my laptop screen like she is. Spinal disc degeneration. The spinal discs get crushed by the vertebrae here when slouching forward, and it gets overextended on the back. The spinal discs get overextended on the back when they're overextended. So compression going on here in the front side of the spine, overextension going on the back side of the spine when slouching like this, all caused by looking down at the laptop screen. So here's another picture that we just looked at. You can tell that this user's torso is straight up and down, which is absolutely necessary in order to maintain the natural curvature throughout the spine. Solution number one, so we talked about that, use an external monitor when using a laptop. I got my external monitor for $150. You can definitely get them for a lot cheaper. I got one that had some decent size to it. It's not huge, but it does allow me to work on two windows on the same monitor at the same time. So I definitely wanted that, and I got that for about $150. It's an HP monitor. No paid promotion in this video at all. I'm not compensated by any manufacturers. So these are just products that I bought with my own money. There's also, so the only other thing you need to use the external monitor is an HDMI cable. It costs around $20. So you would plug the HDMI cable into your laptop and then plug the other end of that cable into your external monitor and then plug that monitor into the wall, and that's it. Your computer extends, no software necessary to use, to download, or to install in order to use that external monitor. So super easy and very beneficial. Here's a great example of a user here. He's working off a laptop, but at the same time, his eye level, he's using this extended monitor, and his eye level is straight ahead, parallel to the floor, which allows him to maintain good upright head posture. He is leaning forward just a little bit in his upper torso, but I think that has to do more with the position of his mouse and his keyboard. His keyboard's in a decent spot, but it's a big, bulky keyboard, which we'll talk in a second. It's very high off the table, so he's got to engage his wrist, which may be causing him to lean forward. This mouse placement is definitely causing him to lean forward. I would definitely want to pull that mouse back towards me, closer to where that keyboard is, so those are even. And this is actually a great segue to talk about the next injury, which is carpal tunnel syndrome in the wrist. A common postural misconception is that the act of typing causes carpal tunnel syndrome. But in my case, it was the act of engaging my wrists to lift my hands onto the laptop keys and mouse. The majority of hardware inside a laptop is all placed inside the computer. You know, it's got to go somewhere, the processor, the hard drive, stuff like that. Because of this, laptop manufacturers cannot make a laptop that has a slim, low-profile keyboard. It's just not possible. It took repetitive wrist action for me to lift my hands onto my laptop keyboard 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week, and I definitely paid the price for that. Keeping my wrists engaged for long periods of time is what caused my wrist pain, not the act of typing. So we'll go back to this user here. You can see that he's got, look how tall this mouse is right here, very tall. Look how tall the keyboard is. Even if he was using his laptop, it's pretty tall. And the mouse pad is all the way in the center of his body. So he would have to bring his hand all the way over here. It doesn't sound like a lot, but again, repetitive strain is a different thing, just with a fraction of an inch. When we hold those positions for 8 hours a day or 40 hours a week, that would cause a lot of pain in his back and those external rotators of the shoulder. Here's another user. You notice how her wrists are engaged slightly. This is what I was talking about. It doesn't look like a lot again, but you can tell, you can see the striations here that she's overextending those muscles. And to do it for a minute or a few minutes, 15, 20 minutes, that's fine. But when we get into these positions for 8 hours a day and it becomes an everyday habit, that's where we get into trouble. That wrist being engaged, you can see how that hand is going upward just slightly in order to type on these keys. It doesn't look like the monitor is that tall, the laptop is that tall. However, look at all the space underneath it. You got to take that into consideration as well. So this ends up being the same as a big, bulky, one of those old school keyboards that you have to engage your wrists in order to put your hands on. So solution number 2 is use an external wireless keyboard and mouse that have low profiles to the table. When I started using my Apple keyboard and mouse, my wrist pain went away within 2 days. It was pretty eye-opening how quickly that pain went away when I stopped engaging my wrists all day long. Oh, and quick note, this is not a paid promotion either. I'm not compensated by Apple. These are products I paid my own money for that greatly improved my laptop posture. The Apple keyboard, I think, was around $100. The Apple mouse is around $80, but both of them are so low and slim, low to the desk, that it greatly improved my computer posture. Like I said, within like 2 days, my pain went away in my wrist. And there are knockoff versions available made by other companies that are less expensive on Amazon. They're actually much less expensive, but I can't speak for them because I've never used them. But looking at the pictures on the internet, they look very similar to the shape and dimensions and sizes of these Apple keyboards and mouse. Here's a great example of an Apple keyboard. Look how slim that is and how low that is to the table. It gets a little higher in the back, but these keys aren't used as often anyway. The top 4 rows or whatever are the ones that are used. And look how thin that is right there. It allows me to comfortably, I like the placement of the keyboard and the mouse here too, comfortably put my wrists here and comfortably use my hands on this low keyboard and low mouse. Look how low that mouse is to the table. Definitely very beneficial for having good laptop posture. So in summary, the worst injuries I had from using a laptop were neck pain and carpal tunnel syndrome in the wrist. The solutions to having good laptop posture that I implemented into my daily life was use an external monitor, as well as use an external keyboard and mouse with low profiles. So that's it for today's content. I appreciate you guys for joining me, how to use good laptop posture. Thanks for watching. If you've made it this far, congratulations. You're taking a big step forward in improving the quality of your life, and that's something to be very proud of. Like I mentioned in the beginning of this video, if you want to sign up for my free email newsletter, go to sittingposture.com/newsletter. I only send out 1 email a week on Fridays, and that email will include a link to the article that I wrote for my website that week, as well as the links to the 2 YouTube videos that I posted to my YouTube channel for that week. I post YouTube videos on Wednesdays and Sundays. You can also download a free computer posture checklist if you want. I only went over 2 solutions in this video on how to improve your posture, but this checklist here has 14 key variables, 14 key steps in how to sit at a computer with good posture. This checklist is all related to sitting. I haven't made one for standing yet. All related to sitting at a computer with good posture. And last but not least, subscribe to my YouTube channel if you want to see my videos in your feed more often. youtube.com/@sittingposture in your browser. Don't forget that @ sign in order to get to my channel. Like I said, I post videos on Wednesday and Sunday. And one last note, all my content is free, and it always will be. The more people that see my videos, the more ability I have to make more content. So if you found this video helpful, please hit the like button. That really helps me out a lot. in being able to create more content and spread my message. Feel free to forward this video to a friend or family member who sits at a computer full time. That is the ultimate compliment when you trust my content enough to share with a friend or family member. Thanks. I really appreciate you guys. This is Todd Bowen from sittingposture.com. I appreciate you guys checking in on today's video, how to use good laptop posture. We'll see you guys on the next video. Take care.